Hello and welcome back to day 2 of the live Satisfactory playthrough. Thanks for joining. This is Dadcraft Adventures. I'm glad you're here. And to jump right into it today, we've been looking at expanding our power grid. But before we do that, we need to do a little bit of exploration. We've got to find some cast screws and some hard drives. Ideally, the hard drives that will lead to the cast screws. And maybe expand our power and potentially find some Caterium out there for research. I think we're going to delay our initial building until we can have some dedicated time to do that. But the reason we're doing the exploration now is because of this right here. We want to build up our storage, and I need to get the resource sink for ladders. In fact, I'm going to do that now, to be honest. I want to complete this. I want to complete this research right now because we want to get ladders for our exploration. So I almost did that out of order. In order to get to certain hard drives and to certain things when we're out exploring, we're going to need ladders. And to get those ladders, we need to do this particular milestone, the resource sync bonus program. We're going to sync some resources. We're going to get a couple of tickets, and we're going to then unlock the ladder. And that will allow us to reach some heights that we wouldn't be able to reach otherwise. So let's grab some excess wire here. We're going to grab a little bit of cable just because it's out here. We're going to complete that milestone, sync a few resources, and then go on our journey. In the future, we'll have a zip line, and we'll be able to zip line around some places and maybe use a hypertube to get from place to place. But for now, we gotta run and jump. It's less than ideal, but it's okay. It'll get us where we need to be. Let's make sure we have enough. 400. Yeah, we've got enough. Okay, let's complete this milestone. We'll sync a few things. What are we missing? Plates.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as AWESOME. Your awesome input allows Fixit to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the awesome resource sink will grant Fixit coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
All right, I forgot to grab some screws, excuse me, to create the Awesome Shop. So now we have those. And if we wanted to start syncing right away, we could. My plan is not to start syncing right away. Let me pull this up. My chat isn't showing, so we'll have to go without the chat today. The goal isn't to start syncing our excess resources right away. I don't want that power on the grid. So I'm not going to connect a sink to, say, our plates or anything like that just yet. We just want to manually sync a few things just to get some of the tickets that we need. Now keep in mind when you're syncing, the things that are more complex to make. We're out of fuel here. That's not going to be good for our grid long term. The things that are more complex for our things that are more complex to make are going to be more tickets when you sync them. I think we'll be good with that there. That has 144. Let's add 100 to that one, 100 to this one. We'll split this to 35 more to each of these. That could have potentially been bad, but I think we're okay with power at the moment. Okay, so let's go back to the awesome shop. I'm just going to do it out here. Here is an awesome sink. We need those reinforced iron plates. Let's do the shop. The shop you can access anywhere. You don't need power attached to it. But we do need those 15 reinforced iron plates. And we'll do maybe 20 or 25 just to have some extra in our inventory. Here in the future, we are going to create those reinforced iron plates after we do our first space elevator milestone. Actually, we'll be able to do it before. I think it's the next milestone we research is going to be that. Getting us access to the assembler, which would allow us to automate the plates. How many we have? 24? That should be okay. Yeah, part assembly will get us access to the assembler. We don't need the space elevator for that, so we'll do that after we go exploring. So for now, we want to create the sink. And when we look at this, this is going to take, it doesn't say how much power just yet. The one thing is it only syncs what you put into it. All syncs are final. You can't get that back. It's not showing me how much it's pulling on the grid. It looks like our max consumption is still barely under our capacity, but we're going to end up turning that off anyway. So we're going to connect a storage container to the sink, and then anything we put into the storage container will then sync. And that is a temporary solution. Because really what we're looking for right now from the shop, we're looking for the factory ladder. So we need 3 tickets. That's all we need is 3 tickets. So let's sync a few things just so that we can get 3 tickets. Let's sync this biomass, because why not? And we will sync maybe these rods, some of these rods. Let's see what that gets us. 488 points until our next coupon. We need 3. So that's 4 each. We're going to need to sync quite a few of those. It looks like we're at, it says 12 points per minute. Yeah, we're going to need quite a few of those to be sunk. Let's sync some of these reinforced iron plates. Just to get it moving. That should give us a little bit more. And maybe a little bit of bauxite. That should be a little bit higher of a sink, I would think. right, let's see where we get when these reinforced iron plates and the bauxite goes through. Well, that jumped us a little bit. Not enough, though. Okay. I'm just going to dump the rest of the reinforced iron plates in there. And maybe some cables. Let's see where that gets us. Yep, there we go. There's 2. There's 3. I'm going to pick the rest of these back up. We don't need to sink the rest. Oh shoot. I did it before I got the tickets. Okay. No big deal. Connect the power back up. Let's get the tickets. That's what we needed. We're good to go. We're going to come over here. We're going to get that ladder. There we go. Now we have access to the ladder. So anytime we want to build vertically, now we can just build that ladder with the iron bars that we have in our inventory, the iron rods. So we're in good shape. I am going to grab maybe a couple more biofuel in case we want to use the chainsaw while we're out, which we will want to use the chainsaw while we're out because there's some, I'm going to show you some things where we want to get some pretty critical resources that's nice to get this early on. And the biofuel will continue to be fed using this biomass. So we're good from that perspective as well. All right. Now we can go out and explore. So there's a few areas that hard drives are right off the bat that are pretty close. We'll go to this one that's up here by where I built our hub. And if you're not familiar with the terrain, don't worry. It's totally okay. Later on, you can do a search using this bad boy here once you're able to track your hard drives. We are currently not able to track hard drives. I just happen to know where some of them are. So we're heading up in this general direction. I'm a little bit lost from the terrain, but I know we've got one up on a plateau up here somewhere. There it is. I see it right up there. There's one. I think there's a second one around here too. Yep, there's another one. This is the one I was looking for, but that's a nice secondary one. Oh, wait a minute. That might not be one up there. This is the one I was specifically looking for, and I know we're going to need a ladder for this one. It's possible that we could do some kind of a jumperoo over on the other side, but unlikely. So I'm just going to build a ladder. This might have been too far away. Oh, let's not do that. Let's build the ladder closer. I don't have a parachute that I can rely on, which is usually what I do when I build a ladder is to do the parachute. We'll get the parachute very soon, though. Okay, so the great thing about these crash sites is they have a lot of these really awesome resources, some that we haven't even made yet. So it's great to get access to these resources early on. Now we need to see, well, what do we need for this? We just happen to loot rotors from this crash site, and a rotor is what we need in order to get this hard drive. And now, by the way, you can remove crash debris.
Players are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
And now, part of 1.1 is that you can remove the crash site debris by dismantling it, which is huge because look at all the resources I got from that. I've got some copper sheets. I've got some rotors. And on the ground, I even found some steel pipes. So this is massive. This is a huge change. I need to learn to not do that. This is a huge change from 1.0 that is really going to benefit us. Now, I don't know if I have what is needed. I do. I'm going to drop a MAM and I'm going to start the scan on that hard drive immediately because I want to find cast screws. That's kind of the goal of this hard drive exploration, is to get some of these initial hard drives and get cast screws. So we've got our first hard drive. I'm going to go over to a location where I know there's a couple more. And towards the end, if I remember, I want to get a lizard doggo. Lizard doggos are amazing pets. We like taming them because those lizard doggos will give us some really cool things. Like, we may not have even built the space elevator yet, and they might be giving us, I don't know, turbo engines or trying to think of what else, rocket fuel. So they give us some really advanced stuff. Uranium fuel cells, like all kinds of crazy stuff that the lizard doggos will give us that we've not even researched yet. So we want the lizard doggo as soon as possible to help us build up some of our inventory for research and for other things. So on the way back, that little island there is where we're going. It's not really an island, but that little mini forest is where we're going to grab a lizard doggo from. So in the meantime, we're going to head up by where the copper is. By the way, if you want an achievement, get on the back of that guy. Usually using a parachute or rocket fuel, a jetpack. Kind of fun to ride around on, not going to lie. Very friendly, not going to attack you, and it'll give you an achievement. Okay, we're heading this direction. I'm going to leave that Mercer sphere for now. I don't really need it. The goal here is hard drive, so that's what we're focusing on. Hard drives and crash sites. And while we're out, we want to pick up some berries and some barrel nuts. Ah, here it is. So here's the crash site over in this area. We do have a couple of baddies that we want to fight. They're not too terrible. We're going to take maybe a few points of damage if we don't time it right. And we've got ourselves some hog remains. Okay, let's pick up the loot on the ground. A lizard doggo. We don't want to hurt the lizard doggo. Okay, this one needs 40 megawatts of power. So, we currently don't have any. How are we going to get that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's why we brought with us the chainsaw. Just cut some of this stuff down. I am using the chainsaw mode of area so that I don't have to hack at just one. It'll take kind of an AoE approach to this. I kind of like this tree, not going to lie. I'm going to leave that tree, but I'll cut some of these smaller trees down. I do go against the fix-it methodology of take everything and exploit. I kind of like having some terrain, you know? Certain things. And if I were to use the AoE mode here, I would take out this plant. So I'm going to use the single mode instead, because I don't want to take out that plant, but I will clear up the things around it so that I can see it for later. This should be enough. Alright. So it needs 40 megawatts of power. And that is going to be done using our biomass burner. And you'll notice that one of these is 30 megawatts, so we're going to need 2. Now, we don't have to make this into biofuel. We can just split this and throw leaves in there. It's not as efficient, but we don't need it to be super efficient. We just need it to temporarily provide some power. And now it's powered on, and we can open the drop pod. Immediately, I'm just going to loot all of this. I did that in the wrong order, so it said we blew a fuse, but that was just that power grid. It was not our actual power grid. And let's clean up the debris on the crash site, get some additional resources. Another reason it's great to do some of the milestones before we go out and do this is because we have that extra inventory space, which we are definitely going to use as we're cleaning up the crash sites and the debris. I don't see any other resources on the ground, so I think we are good to move to the next site. I really like this pond. I haven't decided, but I've been thinking about using this pond for some kind of a little oasis, like a relaxation space, which I know goes against Fixit's philosophy. There is no relaxation. There's only productivity, but that's okay. Play the game how you like. So we are avoiding these gas clouds. We currently cannot tolerate them. They will take 1 point of damage. I think it's about every second. Down in here, this is limestone, but down in here, there's some baddies, but also there's usually some good ore. So I want to see what ore has spawned down in here. And hopefully some of that's Caterium. I'm going to go around the perimeter first. Just got to watch out for the hogs. Is this sulfur? What do we got here? Sulfur.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate Fixit helmets are of such high quality. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Now we've got some standard limestone over here that we can use later. Looks like more sulfur. I'm not seeing any Caterium over here. Just sulfur and limestone this time around. You may find other things. That seems to be one of those kind of random nodes that that spawn. And we'll grab this while we're down here. This yellow power slug. Ooh, that's a new sound. I like that. That's a new sound. And we're going to get away from this hog.
Seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving Fixit production line efficiency. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Ooh, the hog found us. Hang on. That's not a little hog either. That's a big hog.
This mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as quartz and may yield similar industrial functions. Research it in the MAM to establish
not nice.
classification and
Not
potential
nice.
application.
Okay, this is gonna start hurting. I'm gonna put this on because I need to eat some of these because I'm getting damaged. This hog is really hurting. Okay, this is a baby one from over yonder. This one won't be so bad. It's that big one we have to worry about. Where is that big one? I just want that quartz. Okay, I got the quartz, which we will... Oh, here we go. This is what we're looking for. See these? We love these. And the reason we love these is because they give us silica early on just by using the chainsaw on them. So we're going to be wary of, there's also a crash site back here, but we're going to be wary of any bad guys. But we are going to use the area mode. And I don't know what these are. These little, they look like little sponge tubes from under the sea. I don't know how to describe them, but we want to, and these, I don't know if it'll let us. No. But we want to use our chainsaw on these little sponge tubes. Okay, I've got a bad guy coming towards me. But you can see now we're getting both mycelia and limestone and silica. And all of those are helpful. The limestone a little bit less helpful, but the silica we need and the mycelia we need. Okay, we got rid of the spitter. That's our first spitter that we killed.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
Okay. We're going to get more of those little sponge guys in a second, but let's see what is here. This one is just operational as it is, so we're good there. Let's clean up this space. Dismantle all the stuff. Dismantle all the debris. And then we need to look on the ground. Oop, there's another dismantle over here. And now we need to look on the ground to get the rest of the stuff. What else do we got on the ground? Not seeing anything else. Sometimes they like to be tricky and hide things behind like bushes and trees. I think this early on we're probably good. This is an easier starting area, so don't have to worry about that so much over here. Let's chainsaw a few more of these. Getting that silica and mycelia again. Okay, so if you chainsaw something and nothing happens, it means your inventory is full. So what I'm going to do is get rid of some of the leaves in my inventory and probably maybe some of these iron rods in the inventory. Excuse me. That's a stinger. And that just took up another inventory space. I don't need the limestone. I've got plenty of limestone back at the base. And we'll keep the wood in there. I'll get rid of some of these iron rods for now. Okay. Got something else coming at us. It just says, oh, there's another stinger. Okay. Let's get a little bit more. And then we're going to leave this area. My dog is being loud, if you can hear my dog. Okay. Why not? Let's keep going, just for a little bit. What do we got over here? This looks like limestone, unfortunately. Okay. All right, that should be good. I'm going to get rid of this limestone. I'm going to get rid of the extra leaves. Sort this. We got 2 inventory spaces. We're good to go for now. Now, earlier, while we were looking at this hard drive, it said that our hard drive research was complete. So we want to confirm this, and let's take a look at what we've got. Ooh.
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
Both of these are good, but early on, 6 inventory slots is huge. I'm not going to rescan this hard drive like you normally could. I'm going to take those 6 inventory slots because we just demonstrated why we need those 6 inventory slots. I'm going to scan this hard drive, get that started, and we're going to move on. I know of, I think, my memory's a little fuzzy, but I think there's 1 hard drive back in this direction, maybe 2. Okay, there's another spitter. Oh, here we go. Some bacon agaric, I think. Is how it's pronounced.
Potential edible collected. Reminder that look and smell alone do not provide sufficient data to determine exact risk of consumption. Just because it looks like you can eat it does not mean it won't eat you. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Now, note how we've already taken up those 6 inventory spots that we just acquired. Kind of crazy. So, I'm going to take this bacon agaric. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, I thought that was a stinger. I heard that bird. And some quartz here. All right. Let's get some more resources along the way. Ah, there's the hog. I thought I heard something trampling about. If you time it just right, which clearly I did not, your Xeno Zapper can stop him in his tracks and he won't damage you. I did not do that. All right, I'm hearing this guy up here, so I can't get to him. Maybe could by jumping if I did it strategically, but I don't want to waste that kind of time. Something is attacking me. It's a spitter. Oh, shoot. Can you not? And we're going to grab this blue power slug. We're back to full inventory thanks to that power slug. I'm going to get rid of some more iron bars. Iron rods. I hear something else. I hear something else, but I don't know where it is. It sounds like maybe a Mercer sphere. I hear it. And it's somewhere in this direction, but I don't see it. I am so confused. Maybe it's underground? Oh, you know what I could do? Yep, it must be underground because it's saying that it's right here. Yep, it's underground. I can tell from that hollow sound. Okay, so at least we know. All right, we're going to circle back around over this way. We now have access to the map, by the way. We're going to... I don't really care about that slug up there. We're looking for hard drives. And we're grabbing some pale berries and other resources while we're out. I think there's one more hard drive out in this direction. Soon we're going to get some better jumpers. That's one of the reasons why we wanted some of the additional resources for research. Allow us to jump much higher and much further, and as a result, travel faster. Okay, now here is a lesson. When we are by the edge, we do not want to be with our backs towards the edge with a hog because they could literally knock us off and kill us, knock us off the edge of the world. So, this would have been a bad place to fight that hog. Got another slug. Those slugs are used for additional power later on. We don't really need them at the moment. We will use them for research, though. This is that cave that I think that Mercer sphere was in. Yep, we've got some stingers in here, too, which I anticipated. Caves and stingers are usually synonymous. Where'd it go? The thing about caves is sometimes the stingers can like have this really weird collision with the walls. They can go inside the cave walls. So just be mindful of that. Is this where the Sam ore is? I'm really nervous about going into this cave. There could be some big stingers, not just the little baby stingers. So this is where that Mercer sphere was that we heard earlier. I must have a stinger that spotted me. It said unauthorized. There it is. Is there another one? Yep. Alright. I'm getting gutsy going this deep. Especially with just the Xeno Zapper. But I feel a little confident doing it with my experience playing. I can't go back in here because of those poison clouds. I have no way of getting rid of those poison clouds as of yet. Okay, this should be good enough for now. I don't see any... What I was looking for in here, obviously that Mercer sphere was cool, but I was looking to see if I could get any additional resources, mine some additional resources in here. Caterium especially. I thought I saw him. Suspicion confirmed. Okay. Let's get out of this cave and into a safer place. Oh, it's daytime. So that time we spent in the cave gave us enough time for it to be daytime. Okay, heading back around here, looking for one more hard drive ideally. How much time is left on our other hard drive? Oh man, look at that timing, 10 seconds. I have enough time in today's stream for one more hard drive, and then I should, I'll have to call it. So, boom, baby. The gold mine on our second hard drive. Let's freaking go. Cast screws. Y'all, can you believe it? Okay, why is this such a big deal? We can take iron ingots, skip a step. We no longer need the iron rods. We can take those iron ingots and make them straight into screws. Also, they're 50 per minute instead of 40 per minute using the iron rods. So, this is massive. What I'm going to do next is I'm not going to start the next hard drive. I'm going to research the sulfur first that we picked up. Quartz also. Those only take a few seconds.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
Okay. Next, we're going to do the quartz.
The crystalline mineral was a previously unknown variation of quartz, with uniquely large and flawless crystals, normally only found in synthetic quartz. The industrial application of this mineral will follow that of its synthetic counterpart, specifically in communication and exploration technologies.
So we're going to need 40 more quartz, which will give us access to quartz crystal and new products, as well as the silica. And the silica is a precursor for these blade runners, which we need. We haven't yet made these, but these frames, but these blade runners are what will allow us to sprint faster, jump higher. We really want access to those, so that's one of the reasons that I went out and chainsawed those little sponge-looking plants.
This mushroom, dubbed bacon agaric due to its uncanny resemblance to raw bacon, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available. The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth.
So now we have access to fabric. I'm going to go into the crafting bench. We're going to make some. Actually, our inventory's full again. I'm going to get rid of these 7. And we're going to create, as you can see here, we can create mycelia into biomass, which is huge. Let's get rid of these leaves, and we're going to create these into biomass. Okay, we'll get rid of the leaves, and now in the MAM we can research fabric.
Research completed. Fabric recipe unlocked. New mycelia research available.
Okay, now that we've researched fabric, we can research the parachute with the cable that we have in our inventory.
Parachute unlocked. Fix-It appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fix-It property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences. Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a parachute.
And we're just going to go ahead and create that parachute right now. Theoretically, we could have done it earlier, but I wanted to get all of this research kind of done at once. We're out in the field, get some of this research done, have access to the parachute. So I'm making a bunch of fabric right now. If I do 4 more, I will have a hand equipment slot available. So let's just go ahead and make some more biomass. It should be good. So this unlocks the hand equipment slot, mostly because of the rotors that we found from the crash sites.
Tool belt expanded. The latest data indicates that the mycelia possess sentience. Don't worry, we have been given permission to harvest and repurpose their remains.
I'll do the research on the spitter that we killed.
The remains researched belong to an organism that tends to nest near objects emitting specific types of...
Okay, all right. In this equipment, we can now make, I need 10 more fabric. So 10 more fabric will give us a parachute. I now have access to a parachute. Hooray! And immediately we're going to equip that parachute to our back piece, to our back slot. Dismantle this, and then start our hard drive. And now we have access to the parachute using just the resources we found in the field. So now if I press spacebar, it will, after I jump, it will unleash the parachute, or if I jump from a higher location and press the spacebar, it will deploy the parachute that way as well, and I won't take damage when I fall. The cool thing about the parachute is you can also glide up, so that's a fun one. Especially if you're trying to get to a secondary ledge somewhere. Okay, I thought there was a hard drive out here on the edge somewhere. Now, normally, not only would we not want to go down there because we wouldn't have a parachute, but we would have no way of getting up. However, now we have access to the ladder, which would allow us to climb up, as well as the parachute, which would allow us to glide down. Neither of which we're going to do in this very instant, but if we wanted to, we could. There's some coal. We'll be accessing this coal later. There's a summer sloop, which we'll get access to later as well. I'm looking for one more. There's another summer sloop. So here's what I mean by gliding up. Sometimes, a little bit of collision there. There you go. So if you access the parachute and you get up against the rock, sometimes you can glide up like I did here to get access to higher things. Now that I'm up in this area, I can run and jump, and I can glide further out. I suppose since I'm here, I'll just go ahead and grab the summer sloop. I'm not seeing another hard drive. I thought there was one more out in this location, but might have been mistaken. We found the cast screws that we were looking for. So let's head back to the base, unload our inventory. But before we do, let's not forget about getting a lizard doggo. We want a lizard doggo pet. So, in order to get a lizard doggo pet, we need to have berries out in hand. Can't have that guy around. There's normally a lizard doggo in this area. Let's see if we can find him. Caterium! Yes! Yes, Caterium ore!
Unknown metal collected. This metallic element is showing properties similar to those in Group 11 on the periodic table, such as high conductivity and malleability. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Is this more bauxite? Sure is. I mean, we'll take it. Excuse me. Dang, that was a lot of bauxite. Okay. I'm not seeing the lizard doggo right away here. We may have to postpone that in the interest of time for today's stream. We'll have to do that probably in the next one. I know where another lizard doggo is, but I don't quite have enough time to get to that until maybe our next stream. So let's make our way back, collect some resources on the way. Overall, this was a very successful run. We got some research done. We found some additional ores and materials. Found some Caterium, like here's some more. Cleaned up some crash sites to get access to some more materials. And the most of all, we got access to the cast screws. And while we were out exploring, we got our storage containers to fill up a bit more, thanks to some of that automation. So we're in a good place, I think. Oops, can't slide uphill. Forgot about that. All right, it looks like these are backed up, which means these are all full, which is a good sign. We could probably add another power to that, which will maybe be on our next stream. Add some biomass here. This is the man. We've got 3 minutes left. We will wait for that to finish and we will do our last bit of research. Let's go ahead and deposit the bauxite. I'm going to deposit the slugs. We'll end up researching them later. I'll deposit the remains of these as well. I think we've done our sulfur research. We need more quartz to do quartz research. We haven't done the Caterium research yet, so we'll keep that in our inventory. That will be for later. That will be for later. That will probably be for later as well. So, quite a successful run there. How much time we have left? 2 minutes. What else can we do in these 2 minutes while we wait? That is my 2-minute warning timer. We're good here. Let's go ahead and create another couple of power. We've already split this one, so let's split this one. Conveyor belt turns too sharply. We may want to create a little power base. Let's do a 2, and we're going to snap it to the world grid. I'm not going to dismantle these just yet because we'll lose power to our grid. But what I'm doing is I'm setting up the foundation, no pun intended, to expand this. And this is where we will expand it. And we will make this a 2-level expansion. For now, that will have to do. And how can we split this into a way that makes sense? Let's use this for the first time. A conveyor lift. And we'll angle it this way. This is obviously very ugly. When we rebuild this area, we will fix that. And we'll split again. And the first split goes here, and the second split goes here. We've expanded our power just a little bit in a sloppy way. We're going to add that to our to-do list later, which is cleaning up the power area. Let's go ahead and finish that hard drive scan. We've got fine concrete, which is okay. Iron wire, which we like. We have one, it says 1 rescan remaining, but there are no rewards currently available. Meaning, we've researched everything in our tier until we do some additional milestones. So I'm going to leave it. We don't need iron wire yet. Iron wire is decent later, but I'm going to leave this as it is until we research more things. I don't know why I got rid of the MAM. Habit, I guess. Is there anything else we need to research here? The Caterium, that's right.
The metal has been named Caterium after Fixit's greatest CEO, Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance.
So we're going to need more Caterium in order to make ingots, which will then allow us to make Caterium wire and give us access to new products, but we are well on our way. So I think that's where we're going to call it today. Let's update our to-do list. We did do the hard drive exploration and found cast screws. We need to expand our power and create an organized power area. We found some Caterium for research. We need more Caterium for research. And then additional milestones will be next. So we're in a good spot. This has been about an hour stream, and this has been our day 2 of Satisfactory 1.1. Thanks for coming along with me for Dadcraft Adventures, and